Today we're going over Riverside and San Bernardino counties, year to date and month over month. Those article about Zillow, and the FUD article of the day, can't wait to give it to you, all on Real Estate Daily. Welcome everyone to Real Estate Daily. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in mortgage, housing, and the real estate market. Now, before we jump in, let's do us a favor. Hit that like button. Oh, I know I wanted to fake out my producer Emmy on that one. And then hit that subscribe button. That like button helps us and gets our algorithm out there. Algorithm. Wow. It just, yes, I did take some CBD before I got on. But it shouldn't hurt my speech. It should just help my shoulder and take the pain away. But I digress. Let's jump right into it. Well, we are jumping into, let's go back to, okay, here we go. Riverside Housing Market Report. Now, obviously, I said this last couple days ago when we showed Los Angeles and Orange County. And one thing I keep saying over and over, if you look at Zillow, which we're going to get into Zillow here in a few minutes, they have a significantly different view, them in Redfin, than anybody else in the United States. When we look at NAR, National Association of Realtors, and then I do my own numbers from our local MLS here, they're so significantly different than they are when you're looking at Zillow and some of the national medias, which are so negative. And I want to show you how much we still are strong here in Southern California. I'm boots on the ground. I show houses in Southern California, all four counties, Riverside, San Bernardino, Orange, and Los Angeles. And I see that the traffic going through open houses is still brisk. And there's a lot of people out there, a lot of buyers out there that show up. I think a lot are just looky-loos on the sidelines. I think they're approved, but they're going, okay, somewhere in the future is going to get less. The housing market's going to go down. But there are people out there saying, I'm tired of paying rent and I want to go forward. So with that being said, let's do the deep dive into Riverside. Well, year over date. So the difference since September 2021 to 2022 in the county of Riverside, we're up 17%. It's $88,000 is the $88,500 is the average equity position over the last year. So if you bought your home a year ago, you're typically up, your average up is up over 17%, and you made almost $90,000. I don't know about you to say we're in a housing crash, but that is fantastic numbers. If I'm a homeowner, if I bought it 2 years ago, it's just those numbers are all double. All right, deep dive here. So we're actually down on homes about 8%. So the amount of homes that are available are down 8%. It's a much more affordable county than Los Angeles and San Bernardino. And let's go. Number of homes sold are down 6%. So we're down 8% in the actual homes and down 6% of the actual homes hitting the market, actives, and we're down 6% of the homes that are sold. We're just not seeing the inventory there. That's a big issue that most of the national media doesn't go over. We're just keep going down. And then if I hit up, is days on market gone up? Yes, it's gone up from 16 to 26 days. Now, the reason why I say this is because people are becoming more pickier. On the really nice homes, they're jumping on those nice homes. They're updated, the new flooring, the updated kitchens and bathrooms, painting on. But the homes that are dated are just sitting. And I think this is the disparity that we're looking at in this county and actually in Southern California and across the United States. Buyers are becoming more picky. If they see something they like, they jump right on it. But if they don't see something they like, they're waiting for the house to adjust in price to the proper pricing. You cannot price a property, at least a dated property, at market. It just isn't going to sell. It's a poor decision by a poor real estate agent and an uninformed seller. All right, let's jump into San Bernardino County here. Again, if you look at the gauge here, it's a seller's market as well. So we haven't even hit neutral yet. Now, year over date, so September 2021 to September 2020, we're up over 15%, and your equity position has gone up 65% on 65,000 on an average. Please, again, don't tell me that housing market's crashing. It's just simply not. It's cracking absolutely. And if you look over month, yeah, last year we were up over 25%. This year we're up 15%. I don't call that a crash. I think it's ridiculous that the negativity that's out there. Now let's go take a look at the deep dive in numbers. Numbers of home for sales went down again at all 4 of the counties in California here, in Southern California, not counting San Diego, have gone down in the amount of homes for sale. I can't reiterate that point. It's not going up. Inventory's not, really sitting around. It's actually selling, but it's because there's less homes for sale. People freak out. Number of homes for sale went down 8.7%. So we did see a fairly much larger drop than we did in Riverside County. So San Bernardino County is kind of sitting a little bit longer. If we look up here, it's at 34 days versus 21 days a year ago. But that's to be expected. Again, I don't look at that as a negative. I look at it as, if you're going to put your home up for sale, you better have it updated. You cannot sit there and expect top dollar like you did a year ago with an outdated home. It just doesn't make sense. And again, if a real estate agent informs you of that, that is just dumb. It's just bad advice. Let me just say bad advice that a seller is taking and watching their home sit and rot on the market. All right, so let's get into the news. And I call this the FUD article a day. You got it. Fortune magazine. I just went over, this week, 4 counties in Southern California, all up double digits. And then we see this crappy article that came out at 2:06 a.m. this morning. Housing market activity is crashing and threatens to push the U.S. into recession, just like it did in 1981 and 2008. God, such poor journalism. What happened in 1981? Well, we had all these big savings and loan companies come out. They were the ones that were lending on homes. They overextended themselves and crashed. Okay. 2008, what happened? Well, it's the Fed who dropped rates to nothing. Then you had a bunch of poor decisions by lenders that came out with crazy loan programs that was giving out 100% up to 1.2, 1.5 million. You put no money down and you were able to buy a house, thinking that the housing market was going to go up and up and up. And then when the music stopped, people didn't have any equity or any, I say, skin in the game, and with no equity, if they lost their job or they had a little bit of crisis in their life, then those houses got foreclosed on. That was poor. Look, if you really look back at it, two poor banking decisions caused both of those crashes. Well, what happened after 2008? Well, the federal government stepped in and a couple of senators came out, and they came out with the Dodd-Frank Act, and that made everyone responsible for lending. So then you had all these lenders who didn't have licenses in the past. Of course, real estate agents did, but lenders didn't. The fraudsters that are out there that were going on and changing your bank statement numbers and calling, a janitor and the liar loans, they called them, those aren't available anymore. They're not around. So if you look at the equity positions that are in people's homes today, then versus 81 and 2008, there's such a significant more equity in their homes. We're not looking at housing crash. That's just I call it a FUD story. They're all over the place. We can see them all, what's happening out there. So let's just move off of Fortune garbage reporting. But here is what we always been saying. We call Zillow, and Zillow's one of the, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Redfin. They like to come out, and they are also FUDsters as well, if I want to call it. We're just seeing Zillow this year have some of the worst decisions in the history of their company. If you look back a year ago, they decided to jump in the flipping side of everything, right? I want to flip homes. So they started their Zillow flipping company. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. They were losing hundreds of millions of dollars each quarter, and they stopped it sometime in the first quarter. I think it was in January or February, after losing another $500 million. And because of that, they weren't smart enough to see that, well, if the Fed raises rates, well, then all the excess, people that are in their company needed to go. But they didn't. They look back now and they're saying, okay, unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and keep a big, huge staff because we think that the landscape is going to change. We need a bunch of writers. We need a bunch of bad articles out there. Well, hasta la vista, baby. Your job is getting cut. And 300 employees are gone. Should have been gone, again, a while ago. I'm not going to cry over Zillow making bad decisions. They've been making it ever since they kicked out agents like us and wanted to work with bigger, mindless tech companies. Next. All right, the confusing story of the day. Yes, my girlfriend Diana Olick. Let's go read what it says in the headline. Total mortgage demand sinks to the lowest level since 1997. That's what the headline says. And then what does it say when you read, Diana Olick sitting there? Mortgage applications or FHA purchase applications up 1.7 for the week. Okay, Diana, what is it? Is it bad, good, or ugly? I know that the Mortgage Banker Association has said that applications keep going down. They should go down. I mean, we're in the off season. This is the seasonal business. The worst season of the year is the fourth quarter. Everybody who wanted to buy a home, who has kids and or plan to have kids, they want to move by the end of the summer to get into their school district. Who moves now? Well, typically people that are families don't move right now. They're actually settling in for the holidays. They're looking at Thanksgiving or Christmas. They're not want to look for homes, nor if you want to sell your home, do you want to have people walk through your home during the holiday? Of course not. Mortgage demand always falls off right now. And so this is just a traditional seasonal. Now, is it falling off dramatically since 1997? Well, yeah, it's gone down because rates have gone up. But I just think that traditionally, this is just a seasonal event that happens. And the last article here, where's rates going? Well, we just saw a dip in rates again. So if you look at 30-year conventional conforming, they went down 9 basis points. That's fantastic. If you look at 30-year FHA, those went down 11 basis points. Now, I will caution you, next week the Fed is going to meet. And there's so much hopium that's in this market that people are just missing the point. There are several events that are going to happen right before the election, and that's where I'm thinking that a lot of this is coming from. We're seeing that the strategic oil reserves are going to run dry. I think we have 21 or 22 days left before we're empty. Well, our president just emptying them all out so he can go and get as much votes. It's about votes, right? That's why you're not looking at what can happen in the United States after the fact, after you drain everything. He's looking for votes. So what's actually out there? Well, let's go ahead and have the stock market do well. Crypto market's doing well right now, coming up to 10 days before the elections, and we're seeing mortgage rates going down. But I will tell you, the hopium that's out there will be smashed. It'll either be smashed when the Fed meets next week. They're going to raise 75 basis points. If they do, it's going to be shrugged off like, oh, no big deal. It's already worked into the economy. Or the Fed is going to come out with 50 basis points and are just going to pause because they got political pressure from the current administration. And then they're going to come back and slap us in the face in January at 75 basis points. One of the two is going to happen. It's a bunch of hopium because I feel by Thanksgiving and Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, our economy is just going to get beat up, and it's going to start with gas prices soaring at the pump right through the roof, which is going to go right into, food and everything else, all the domino effect that's there. Guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I know I had a lot of opinionated I was very opinionated today, but I want you to hear a lot from you guys. I know we had some comments yesterday. I would love to have comments today. If you're looking at the Riverside and San Bernardino numbers, they are fantastic. I say they're fantastic. They do not reflect the media that's out there, nor the three-headed monsters, Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com. Guys, I will be here tomorrow. I'll be recording, and I will give you the most updated information. You guys have a fantastic day. Peace out.